Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the movie called The Purge, Anarchy. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. Just over 2.5 hours till the annual purge, during which all crime is lawful for 12 hours. Employees at a diner are impatiently awaiting their boss's dismissal. They had a brief discussion about what they want to do on the night of the purge. Eva, one of the waiters, returns home to her father Rico and teenage daughter Cali. Cali is watching a video on the internet about a man named Carmelo Jones who is trying to organize supporters against the new founding fathers and their horrific deeds against the poor. Rico despises the purge and doesn't want to hear anything about it for the rest of the night. Cali asks Eva if her boss got her a raise before he leaves. She informs her daughter that it isn't going to happen right now. Meanwhile, a man named Leo is getting ready for the start of the show. He is awakened by a knock at the door. Janice is the name of the lady. She notices newspaper cuttings about a man who was released from prison on his wall and realizes why he planned to go out that night. Despite her pleas to him not to carry out his plans, Leo dismisses her. Shane and Liz are out driving. There is clearly a rift between them. Liz informs Shane that they have to tell his sister about something after their trip to the supermarket. A punk with face paint and a cross drawn on his forehead spooks them for a few moments. He withdraws and joins his masked and face-painted punk pals. A man wearing a mask that says God waves at the couple. We find that they are divorcing as they hit the road again, and this is something Shane is hesitant to tell his sister. Their automobile suddenly breaks down in the middle of the street, not long before the purge begins. When they investigate under their automobile, they notice that the cables have been severed. With the god punk stepping out with a blade, the punks ride up close to them. The couple realizes they have cut the lines and flees. As 6 p.m. approaches, Eva and Cali cook dinner, while Shane and Liz try to avoid the punks and any additional purgers. The beginning of the purge is signaled by the sound of sirens. Leo drives out in his armored sedan, pistols slung over his shoulder. A lunatic truck is driving through the streets. They pass a couple with machetes who are attempting to unleash the beast. Big Daddy, a man inside the truck, pulls out a machine pistol and kills the couple. Leo walks by a man being pummeled to death, completely oblivious to a burning bus approaching from behind. Cali sets out to find Rico for supper. She discovers a message, which she shows to Eva, in which Rico reveals that he is already dying and is heading to a wealthy family's home for them to vomit on him. They provide money to Eva's account in exchange for her assistance. Outside, the women hear commotion as they lament their unavoidable loss. They notice a SWAT-like team of men approaching their building via the window. A loud hammering noise is then heard by them. Diego, their lecherous neighbor, enters with a shotgun, intending to rape and murder the women. When another thumping is heard, he clutches Eva's throat and licks her face. The armed men shoot Diego, and Eva and Cali are taken to Big Daddy to be cleansed. When Leo passes the ladies' building, he notices the men attempting to drag them into their van. Leo muses to himself that he should just drive by and ignore it, but when he sees the females fight back, he gets out of the car and shoots the men down. Shane and Liz climb into his car with his back turned to hide. Leo shoots Big Daddy in the face as he comes from the truck. He starts walking back to his car, but then invites Eva and Cali to come along. They follow, and when they see Shane and Liz in the rear of the car, they are all taken aback. Leo draws his weapon on them, but they assure him that they are unarmed and have no intention of purging. They soon saw Big Daddy standing up, followed by the punks on their bikes. As Big Daddy fires his machine gun, Leo reluctantly takes everyone with him. Leo's car breaks down as well, leaving everyone stuck on the outskirts of town. Eva offers to obtain Leo a new automobile from Tanya, Justina Machado, a friend and co-worker, if he pledges to deliver them to her house safely. He agrees, and each of them is given a rifle to protect themselves. Shane's foot is caught in a trap on their way to Tanya's house. Purgers arrive from every direction and fire at the group, but Leo manages to fire back and kills the majority of the assailants. Shane fires the cable and manages to release himself. As a chasing party of purgers pursues the five, they come to a halt in front of a subway tunnel. Cali tries to talk to Leo while out walking and persuade him that whatever rationale he had for being out late is incorrect. He simply disregards her. Another purger troop arrives, armed with a flamethrower and more guns. The purgers kill other bystanders who were hiding while the five flee. While Leo, Eva, and Cali flee, Shane and Liz fire back at the purgers. Shane is shot in the shoulder, but he and Cali manage to kill the driver and subsequently blow up the purgers with the flamethrower's tank. Tanya's residence is finally reached by the group. Dinner is prepared by her and her mother, as well as her sister Lorraine, Roberta Valderrama. Tanya's father and brother-in-law Roddy join them, Nico Nicotera. While the ladies tend to Shane's bullet wound, Leo prepares to get back in the car and head out. Eva reveals that they don't have a car and that she relied on Leo to safely transport them. He makes the decision that he will arrive at his destination one way or another. He also doesn't trust Tanya, who is clearly inebriated and has made comments about purging if she so desires. After finding out that Tanya and Roddy were having an affair, Lorraine comes in with a revolver and shoots her to death. Lorraine threatens Roddy with her gun, but he snatches Liz and holds her at gunpoint to call Lorraine's bluff. Roddy is shot in the side by Leo, who then shoots Lorraine. The five run out again in an attempt to flee. Regrettably, Big Daddy and the armed guys are waiting for Leo, Eva, and Cali outside. The party tries to find another way out, but they are apprehended by the biker punks once they are outside. The punks take the group to a facility where they are paid to bring the folks in as purge victims. The five are hauled before a crowd of wealthy individuals who eagerly bid to murder them. Following the selection of a group of 7 purgers, the 5 are placed in a dark chamber for the purgers to hunt them down. Leo devises a plan to get himself and the others out of there, while the purgers recite their appreciative prayer. He slips past the purgers and kills one of them, stealing his night vision goggles and weapon. To the shock of the rich audience watching, he kills 3 more people and steals their guns. Leo fires at them to scare them, but they are protected by the bulletproof window. He returns with the weapons, and the party kills 1 more purger before the other 2 flee. The event's organizer, an elderly wealthy woman, requests assistance. The group sits in terror, knowing they may not make it out alive. Just seconds before the backup purgers come and shoot Shane to death, Shane apologizes to Liz for everything, and she tells him she loves him. Liz sobs as she cradles his body in her arms. Then there's an explosion. The purgers sense trouble because explosives are forbidden here. The stranger assassinates the backup purgers from the first film that the Sandin family helped. Carmelo leads an army that he brings in. They open fire on the other purgers before offering to assist the group. They allow Leo, Eva, and Cali to flee, but Liz decides to stay behind and purge to revenge Shane. Liz will be protected by Carmelo and his soldiers. Leo locates the event's organizer in the parking garage and carjacks her at gunpoint, where she begs Leo not to shoot her. He gives her permission to leave. The morning arrives, and the purge is almost complete. Leo arrives at the residence of Warren Grass, Brandon Keener. Here, Leo informs them that Warren Grass was the man who murdered Leo's kid in a drunk driving accident a few months previously. Warren was caught and charged with drunk driving and manslaughter of a kid because it did not occur during the purge, but he was released on a legal technicality despite his blood alcohol level being extremely high. Cali begs Leo to reconsider, but he ignores her and breaks into the man's home 5 minutes before the purge ends. He enters Warren's room and awakens both him and his wife. He threatens Warren with a knife, reminding him of what he did to his kid. Warren apologizes and admits his mistake, and then there's a scream. Leo gets shot twice as he comes out of the house. Big Daddy, the shooter, stands over Leo, telling him that he shouldn't have saved Eva and Cali because they were his to kill. He goes on to say that the purge is not the time or place for heroes. Big Daddy is shot in the head by Warren, whom Leo opted not to kill after all, before he kills Leo. Big Daddy's armed men charge up to the home, while Eva and Cali run out with their firearms. The purge comes to an end as the sirens sound, announcing the conclusion of the purge. Warren is then urged by Eva to get his car and drive Leo to the hospital. Cali thanks Leo for saving them on the way to the hospital, and she's glad he didn't kill Warren. While the news and police helicopters fly over the city, slightly devastated by the events of the evening, they make it to the hospital, with Eva and Cali carrying Leo inside. Before the credits roll, a last text appears, stating that there are 364 days until the next purge.